McClellan Terrell, and I write under the pen name P.M. Terrell. And today I want to talk to you about a book that I just finished reading by Mary Stewart called Wildfire at Midnight. It was suggested that I read this book by one of my friends on Facebook, and even though it was published in 1956, it was re-released in 2011, and reading it was such a pleasure that it really reminded me why Mary Stewart's books frequently ended up on the New York Times bestseller list and other international bestseller lists multiple times, and why many consider her to be the founder of the romantic suspense genre. Well, Mary Stewart was born in England, but she spent most of her adult life in Scotland and passed away in Scotland. And she spent a great deal of time in Skye. So the book's setting, which is set in Skye, it's very apparent that she knew those mountains intimately. I do not fish, and I do not mountain climb, and I never thought that I would really be interested in reading a story about that, even though I am fascinated by those who climb Mount Everest. But in Wildfire at Midnight, the heroine, Gianetta, or who most of the folks in the book call Janet, is much the same as me. She hasn't fished, she's never mountain climbed. She might plan on taking a few just strolls through the beautiful scenery there at Skye. But in need of a break from her job, she's actually not from Skye, but from London, and in need of a break, she goes to Skye and immediately runs into her ex-husband, Nicholas. Well, she's determined to remain there anyway and enjoy her time, but she's very quickly caught up into a lot of tension at this remote resort where they are all staying. And it turns out that the tension is due to a murder, a ritual murder on the mountain. It's a murder in which most of the resort's guests are suspects, but Janet is not, because she was in London at the time and only arrived afterward. Well, we meet a wide range of characters, and they range from cheating husbands to unhappy wives, and when two women are lost on the mountain, the suspense really ratchets up. One is found dead after her rope has been cut, very clearly cut, and one is found a few days later, barely conscious, unable to speak. Well, since she is unconscious, Roberta cannot tell the authorities who tried to kill them, or who tried to kill her and did kill her friend. Then another guest is murdered, his throat is slit, and our heroine, wishing for just a quiet afternoon learning to fish, is winding up in a fight for survival. The action is fast, the words are concise. Though it was written in the 1950s, the heroine is surprisingly independent and quite capable of standing up for herself. After her divorce, she returns to a very successful modeling career, so she's an international star on her own merit. But when it reaches the end, the book turns into what we in the industry call a woman in jeopardy, with a romantic ending. There are twists and turns in this book, and each time I encountered one, it caused me to question, did I have them kill her right, or is it someone else? And then we find that the suspects are not limited to the men, but to the women as well. And amid the suspense are those sweeping vistas of the mountains. the varying experiences of the climbers, ranging from very experienced, one who climbed Mount Everest, and others who are pretty much like Janet, complete novices. Both the serenity and the dangers of this land become apparent. They're both enticing and unforgiving and deadly. Mary Stewart wrote around 17 romantic suspense novels in her time, and she also wrote books in 4 other genres. If you haven't read any of them, Wildfire at Midnight is a great place to start. Let me know if you like this video review, and please follow me on YouTube, and follow me on my blogspot at pmterrellblogspot.com, and my website at pmterrell.com, where I hope to be posting additional book reviews as I read more suspense thrillers.